What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman. Coming up on today's show, it's my favorite show we do here. We have a mailbag where we answer all of your guys' questions, and this is a part of our weekly live show. We normally go live at around 4 p.m. Central Time every Wednesday. So if you guys haven't checked them out yet, please hop in the live chat. It's a lot of fun. Hang out with us, and that's where we get all of our questions from. And the first one coming in from my man Z Cool here. What's going on, Z? Saying, what position is loading the draft this year? Within that loaded class, can the Vikings drop a player in expectation of picking up one and upgrading? If so, who? Shout out to Jack Loneray. Throughout the running back position, there is no doubt it's absolutely loaded in this year's class. I mean, you got about 10 guys. I would be thrilled for the Vikings, to draft, and you would probably have to drop Aaron Jones, but it will come down to, would you rather give Aaron Jones that $7-8 million, or would you just rather, take a chance on one of these guys? Like Ashton Genty, if he falls to pick 24, Vikings take him. I'll love it. Amari Hampton, LaQuain Allen, Dylan Sampson. Dylan Sampson is the burner in this year's draft. And then Judkins, I saw Judkins getting some comparisons to Dalvin Cook actually this week, and I don't hate it at all. But I think in the third and the fifth round is where the Vikings will really target running back. Like, you got Kaleb Johnson, R.J. Harvey, Cam Scadaboo, who is everybody's favorite right now, and I would love him for goal line situations. Dude's an absolute mauler. Travion Henderson, he's a stud. I love Devin Neal as well. He's a really good player. But another position here, honestly, defensive tackle, I think this year's defensive tackle class is extremely underrated, and then maybe you could move off a guy like Jonathan Bullard, Jerry Tillery, Jihad Ward. You don't bring those guys back, and you just draft some guys. But Z-Cool, appreciate the question, man. Either running back or defensive line in terms of where this draft class is, pretty loaded. So I appreciate you. Hunter Thompson coming in saying, should the Vikings draft Nick Imanwori? I believe that's a South Carolina safety if Harrison Smith retires. It is a South Carolina safety. So, listen, he's only 20 years old right now, so he is one of the youngest players in this year's draft, but he is a freak. 6'3", 227 pounds, very versatile safety, which most of these safeties also this season are very versatile. I feel like the college football game, they're just letting these guys play multiple positions on defense. You're not locked in to a certain role here. So I would love that pick, but again, I don't know if I would love the Vikings taking safety in round one. I would rather have them, like I've been saying all offseason, have Theo Jackson start. I'd rather have them go corner or defensive tackle. Mike Nintendo, should they bring Darnold back? Question of the offseason for the Vikes. Pretty simple one here. You just can't. If the timeline was different, if we didn't have J.J. McCarthy, if our roster was more complete and ready to win now, then maybe I would be more open to it. But listen, Darnold was great for the Vikes this past season. Just even going back this past week and just watching all of his throws from the year, this dude is playing at a top 15 quarterback level. I mean, heading into the Lions game, we were arguing, is he the fifth best quarterback in the league? He was playing that good. He had 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Entering that game was 14-2, but it just doesn't fit the timeline. It's J.J. McCarthy's team now, and honestly, I think that answer is pretty clear here. But Zach Gaiman, what's going on? Next question saying, should we re-sign Cam Akers since he played well if we let Aaron Jones go? Like that idea. If Aaron Jones gets priced out and some other teams want to offer him $9-10 million per year, then I say you just bring back Cam Akers. But let's just say Cam Akers does leave in free agency. Could you imagine if the Vikings traded for him for a third year in a row where he's on the team, you let him walk, you trade for him. He's on the team, you let him walk, you trade for him. Then we just do that again this season. I think that'll be absolutely hilarious. But, I'd be cool with it. Aaron Jones walks, sign Cam Akers, draft a running back. You got a solid running back room then. INT Productions coming in saying, #Vikings. Thoughts on trading Hawk for picks? Interesting conversation here. I actually remember a conversation with my dad I had before they were talking about extending TJ Hawkinson, and he made the argument. He was like, these tight ends nowadays, they're hitting at an all-time rate. Like Sam Laporta, Brock Bowers this past season, like Dalton Kincaid, Even Tucker Kraft, for example, with the Packers, like these young tight ends, because originally the conversation was tight ends take longer to develop because you got to get the run blocking part of the NFL game down. Then obviously you got to go be a weapon. But trading Hawk for picks, I wouldn't hate the idea. Now, could a team toss you a second-round pick for Hawk? I would 100% consider that, considering this year's tight end draft is also pretty loaded as well. But with only 4 picks, I think trading Hockenson has to be on the table. And also, listen, does Hawk play up to that $18, $20 million contract? Because still, the last couple of games of the year, Lions and the Rams, he had a lot of chances to make some big-time plays in some big-time moments. And there were 50-50 balls, and they just went the other direction. He wasn't able to come down with them. Is he worth that $20 million price tag? I don't necessarily think so. So, yeah, I would definitely consider it. I just don't know how likely it is. And he was also coming off that injury. I think physically he was right, but maybe mentally he wasn't fully ready to go. But, yeah, I mean, I'm sure Kwesi's definitely considering that. But let me ask you guys this. This is always a fun one here on the show. Name a random Vikings player for me. Not the Adrian Petersons, not the Randy Mosses, not the Chris Carters, but get weird. Name a super random Vikings player. Normally I say Sidney Rice for this one. I'm going to change that up here. I will go, I was about to say Toby Gerhart. I feel like that's not too random. I'll go, let me think about this. Z Cool saying Brock Lesnar. That's a good one. I'm gonna go Matt Asiata, one of my favorite running backs for the Vikes. The goal line demon. How nice would Matt Asiata be would have been on the team last season, man, considering how much they struggled. So yeah, name a random Vikings player for me down below. Now we'll get to more questions here in a second, but first I gotta tell you guys about today's sponsor, and that is Game Time. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Now, Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. Whether it's a Minnesota Wild game, Minnesota Timberwolves game, or any hockey game in the Minneapolis area, check out Game Time. Download the app. Get that $20 off when you plug in that promo code CHATSPORTS. Again, first purchase only. Terms do apply. But if you guys use that promo code CHATSPORTS, we will hook you guys up with $20 off. $20 off. So download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I use them for any NBA, NHL game I'm going to. You guys won't regret it. Check them out. But massive shout out to Game Time for sponsoring today's show. Bobby Blogs, what's going on, man? How worried are you about Will Reichard? I'm gonna say not too worried. I think that quad injury midway through the year really shook his confidence. Because after that, he was missing a lot of kicks. We saw him hit big kicks when he was at Bama, like in that Rose Bowl game, actually against J.J. McCarthy. He hit like a 50-plus yarder to tie the game up. I'm not really too worried about it, but if he starts off next season, for example, struggles throughout the first 8 games, I mean, I guarantee you people will be calling for John Parker Romo to come back since he was awesome in the 4 games he filled in. So right now, I'm going to say not really too worried. Craig, what's going on? Trade back from the 1 spot. Draft is deep in positions we need. I think we can optimize this draft by getting a 2nd-round pick and another 3rd. That's like the early reports of this draft, is that like between pick 25 and 65, all these guys are relatively graded the same. So with where the Vikings are at, only having 4 picks in this upcoming draft, it would make a lot of sense. Trade down from that 24 slot, get a 2nd and a 3rd. But I will say, if there is a player who you absolutely love at pick number 24, don't trade back just to get extra draft capital. Like, don't force the issue on that. Like, if there's a Benjamin Morrison who you know is a stud, or if there's a Kenneth Gant or whoever it may be, like, slide in there at pick number 24 and then just draft whoever it may be. But, yeah, I mean, that's definitely a huge conversation here, Craig, so I appreciate you. Junk coming in. If Harrison Smith retires, who do you want to fill his spot? Keep Cam Bynum. Yeah, I've been saying it a lot. I'm cool with the Vikings letting Cam Bynum walk. Theo Jackson's there. You could also maybe draft a safety in the 3rd or the 5th round in this year's upcoming draft. But I wouldn't want the Vikes to take a safety in the 1st round, even if both these guys aren't on the team next season. But Junk, I appreciate you. I just think it would probably be an in-house option, like a Theo Jackson, or you go draft a guy in the 3rd. But hopefully you have a lot of faith in Flores where he can he gets the most out of that safety position. But Jack Ray, what's going on, man? Does J.J. McCarthy live up to the hype this season? 110%. I think he's gonna exceed expectations this year. I was actually talking about this the other day. I think the Vikings are early record prediction here. I think the Vikings go 11-6, 10-7 next season. And I think some people will be saying, oh, they won 14 games with Sam Darnold. Why did they go to J.J. McCarthy? But I think the Vikings will be a better team at 10-7 or 11-6 than they were last year, even though they won 14-plus games. 100%. I think I do think J.J. lives up to the hype. I appreciate you, Jack Ray, executive producer here of Vikings Now. Skull TV, what's going on? Do the Vikings go all in on Milton Williams? I would do it. I think this guy's a stud. Only 25 years old still. He is a massive defensive lineman, 6'3", 290 pounds, and PFF, his overall grade was 70.1, but his pass rush grade was 90.4, which was the 2nd out of all defensive tackles. Run defense was only 43.1, but this guy can create interior pressure. I think Flores would absolutely love this guy on the defensive line. I mean, total pressures on the season, he had 40, which was 19th in the NFL among defensive linemen, which is just great stuff. Young guy, I think he's about to hit his prime, and there's just something about like Eagles linemen on both sides of the football. Always physical, always play with the tenacity, and I think the Vikings could use a whole lot more of that, on their roster. So go all in on him. Let me actually just look. I'm not sure exactly what his contract projection is here. Guessing he's going to get upwards of 17, 18. Yeah, they got him at $18 million per year, the Louisiana Tech product, Milton Williams. So, yeah, I would do it. No doubt about it. But if you guys could also, friendly reminder here to hit me up on Twitter and also hit that thumbs up icon on the way out. Really does help us grow this YouTube channel here at Chat Sports. If you guys could hit that thumbs up button, but really want to say thank you guys so much for watching today's show. See you guys next time. As always, Skol Vikes.